We run some programs, like we have a program called WIN, which is called Women in Insurance.
Okay.
What are we doing there? We are hiring fresh MBA graduates, female graduates, and we do a complete training with them of campus to corporate, because they're so fresh, but a lot of energy, a lot of passion, right? But we need to train them on the basis of corporates. So I think in that sense, that's partnership. We have a traditional mindset when insurance was bought only for tax purpose. Hence, at February, March era, these 2 months may contribute, say, 30% of our full year business. So there is a disproportionate, also a general realization that when people buy, generally people are buying in, say, late 30s. I think it is a bit late, because generally in the Indian context, I think, as the myth is, people think it is not important for me. I'm immune. Nothing is going to happen to me. As I said, Indians by nature are very positive. Correct? Which is good.
Yeah.
But we sometimes believe, I don't need it. We all went through a tough time in COVID, right? So I think that is also an attitude which has to change.
Hello and welcome to Why Not Mint Money, your go-to podcast for personal finance. I'm Avanne Dubash, and today we're talking about something India says it wants but still doesn't fully commit to: real financial protection. And here's the truth. India's overall insurance penetration is just 3.7%, and life insurance penetration is 2.8%. That means for every 100 rupees we produce as a nation, barely 3 rupees goes toward protecting our families' futures. At the same time, household vulnerability is rising. Medical inflation is higher, and the average Indian's insurance spend is far below what a financially secure family needs. So today, we are asking the questions that matter. Why is India more aware but still underprotected? Why do we buy insurance late, buy too little, and almost never reassess it as life changes? And to unpack this with clarity and depth, we are joined by someone who has been shaping the conversation around insurance protection for over 25 years. Mr. Alok Rungta is the Managing Director and CEO of Generali Central Life Insurance Company, a seasoned leader with global experience across India, Hong Kong, Philippines, and other Southeast Asian countries. He has been instrumental in transforming Generali Central's vision into a true lifetime partner model. Under his leadership, the company has driven digital transformation, reimagined customer engagement, and built a high-performance culture that actually puts people at the center of protection. So, let's get into it. Thank you so much, Mr. Rungta, for being with us today. I want to start off by talking about the big pictures I highlighted. The fact that insurance penetration in India has now declined to 2.8% of GDP in 23-24. That was down from 3% to the previous year. Why is it that we're seeing this paradox of rising premiums but falling penetration in the country? Is there some structural factor behind it, you think?
See, if you look at in the last 2-3 years, life insurance has gone through a lot of waves, right? There have been structural changes, and also there have been regulatory and tax changes. I think it's just a small phase where the industry is correcting itself and also doing some course correction to see how do we actually do leap and bounds, right? For example, there were some changes in the EOM norms. Recently, we had a GST change. So the frequency of change is also high, while most of them are in the interest of customer, like surrender charges change happened 1.5 years back. So industry is going through the settling time. That's my first view. Second, what we also see is, as you rightly pointed out, there is more awareness compared to what it was in the past. Still, we find that the awareness has not reached every part of the country. So what has happened is, where people are more, say, metros, tier ones. Now the ticket size of these people have gone up, but the number of people buying are not coming into the fold. In fact, we all life insurers in the Life Council also are trying to make a concentrated effort how to increase awareness. So we'll see there is a campaign which is running like Sabse Pehle Life Insurance, correct, which is done by the Life Council. Second, a lot of us are now look at how do we go tier 2, tier 3.
Yes.
The good news is, compared to say a decade back, disposable income in those parts of the country has gone up. There is a mindset to buy insurance, but I think still there is this mindset of procrastination still happening. We'll do it tomorrow or we'll do day after. I think that appreciation that the commodity, this category is important. We need to act ASAP. That urgency is still not there.
Yeah.
Also, remember we are in the same financial instrument bucket. So there are a lot of financial products.
Yes.
The younger customers, you will read a lot of stories about they being participating in many exotic products
Oh,
and then
yes.
burning their hands as well. So I think that's where insurance has not made inroads. But we do believe with a lot of government schemes and effort which industry is trying to do, this is a temporary phase. I call it a blip on the
Okay.
downside. If you look at last 2 months data, there is something which is coming back on track.
Okay.
Last 2 months data is encouraging at the industry level. Some players are doing much better than others. So I think it's just a phase,
Okay.
and we should be back on track to achieve the vision of insurance for all by 2047, which is a larger vision across the country, along with the regulator. And sometimes we feel actually we can achieve it earlier as well. So the vision of Viksit Bharat by 2047 is also aligned with the vision of insurance for all by 2047. And I personally believe that we are on track. And there will be temporary ups and downs, but I think we should not be worried about meeting that target on time.
Okay, great. So you call this like a temporary blip, and you said that there is that mindset of procrastination. So that's what I want to sort of just
Yeah.
focus in on, because I think a lot of people still treat the cover like a February, March tax chore. So what is the numbers really showing about how Indians are actually buying their first policy, how much of a cover they're picking, how rarely do they update it? And, we were talking about this buying late and buying too little. So how much is a family actually losing when it comes to financial security by doing this?
Okay, so all good points to be honest. Yeah, we have a traditional mindset when insurance was bought only for tax purposes. Hence, that February March era or that February March uh, hangover is very, very strong still. These 2 months may contribute, say, 30% of our full year business.
Okay.
So, there is a disproportionate
Yeah.
calling for insurance to be bought at that time. Also, a general realization that when people buy, generally people are buying in, say, late 30s. How much they buy? They would buy maybe a 5 or 6 multiple of the sum insured, right? So I think it is a bit late because generally in the Indian context, late 30s means generally I'm saying, okay,
Yeah.
you are a married family, you might have 1 or 2 kids also. So you are already late in your financial planning and financial risk management. So remember, we are part of the same financial planning and financial risk management bucket. Second, a 5, 6 multiple of need is also too less.
Okay.
Now, it goes back to the first point that are we the first in the recall of the family that this is one category which is beyond financial planning and actually is the only category which gives financial protection. As Indians, we are having some oriented savings, which actually with the younger generation is also a challenge to be candid. It's more
Yeah.
a spend economy now.
For sure.
We were a savings economy more in the past, but the risk management aspect is not strong. See, ethnicity and culturally, we are very positive ethnicity, right? We don't look at risk, what can come tomorrow, and that orientation to plan for it in advance is not high. We are people like, we'll manage, it's okay, and more positive looking. So that positiveness is great, right? That aspirational outlook on growth is great. But we should also realize we are living in circumstances today which are more uncertain than they were used to be,
Right.
right? The need of the
Yes.
hour is also high. Cost of livings have gone up, right? Uh, because of the healthy environment, your life expectancy has increased.
Yes.
So you need to live longer, even if you retire. The time gap between retirement and your
Correct.
End of life is also projected to be going high. So you need to plan ahead. Now that realization is not deep in the country. So that's one area where I think collectively awareness on financial planning and risk management has to grow a lot. We are trying to do our bit into it, but I think it's a collective effort.
Yes.
If you look at curriculum wise also, right? See, you may come from an art field, you may come from a science field, you may come from any field, but everybody has to do financial planning,
Yes,
right?
correct.
But I don't think still in a basic curriculum, financial planning is a subject,
Yes, you're right.
right? So some of these aspects are not taken seriously. So what happens as a youngster? I have never been told unless my father has pushed me to do something. So those things are not built in a society and culture as a way
Yeah.
of living.
Yes, yes.
Hence, the adaptation is taking a lot of time than what we anticipate.
You've really touched upon a very important point. Maybe instead of the algebra, we should focus
Some of
on
it, I mean,
insurance.
you need algebra
Yeah,
also.
some of it, of course, like
Yeah,
you said. But do you think that if we reframe it as income continuity rather than policy ownership, that maybe the mindset would change? What do you think needs to be done in terms of communication, in terms of distribution, that will actually change the mindset or help change the mindset of the 140 million plus households here?
definitely there is a need to simplify,
Yes,
right?
simplify is the word. Okay.
We insurers have also made our life difficult. Let me put it this way, right? We use a lot of technical jargons at time,
Yeah.
and an ordinary citizen or an ordinary consumer
Yeah.
may not understand it.
Yeah.
I was in a forum yesterday, and we were discussing a product called critical illness. Someone was asking, "Sir, what is this product?" So there was a eloquent lady explaining in her own way technically, it's a income replacement product. So I had just chipped in, because I said, let's explain him what does it mean.
Yeah.
So I said him that if you are critically ill, right, there are many things which happens or a person goes through when he or she is critically ill, right? One is a hospitalization bill. Now that is covered by a medical insurance. But critical illness means you are having some really serious illness. Now some of this illness actually can limit your earning capability in future. Also many a times there are a lot of pre-hospitalization and post-hospitalization expenses which your medical will not cover.
Yeah.
So CI rider is actually in a way a lifestyle replacement product.
Okay.
Because see, even if you are critically ill, post your treatment, you still want to maintain a certain lifestyle, right? From an income generation point of view or the way you live. Now, this product gives you a lump sum amount, right? It's
Yeah.
like you get a 1 crore income or a 5 crore cover, and it's lump sum
Okay.
on detection of illness. What treatment to take is irrelevant.
Okay.
So suppose I've taken a cancer cover, I am with detected cancer. A report says the guy has detected cancer. We are obliged to pay him or her a lump sum amount of cover she has taken or he has taken. 1 crore, 5 crore. Now what you do with that is none of our business.
Got it.
Obviously the treatment when you get hospitalized is going to be taken care of medical.
Okay.
But this money is available you to ensure that your lifestyle, the way you live, your post hospitalization, pre hospitalization cost is taken care. Your needs are taken care because this may impact your ability to earn. So these kind of communications are more important than telling, oh, this product is this, the category is this, because ordinary consumer doesn't understand
Yeah.
sometimes. So a lot of time we say, you know, the proposition which goes in the product is more important than the product itself.
Absolutely.
Okay, what is said is a proposition. So please define the proposition in the language the customer understands, not in the way we understand as insurer.
Yes, absolutely. I think simplifying it is
Simplifying.
absolutely critical. And then when we look at it from a budget standpoint, what would you say is on the wish list from a budget standpoint? And what would you argue is needed for long-term protection and retirement planning and really expected rather than that rushed ATC that everyone does?
See, if I can be very frank, the way also the taxation has happened in the last few years, the category has not been very easy in the sense that when you remove a lot of tax benefits, okay, the traction of February and March is also coming down.
Yeah.
Right now, if you believe this is not necessarily a savings category but a protection category, then we should look at differently from a tax benefits also.
Okay.
See, while there are some products which compete on FDs, there are some products which compete with markets, but can you do differently something for the protection piece? So recently, to be fair, the government has reduced the GST on that category, right? But I still believe if you incentivize people for the right behavior. See, here we are saying about behavior, right? What is human behavior? How are they prioritizing these things? Do they understand these things? In India, people do understand tax well. Tax has always been instrumental in driving people in savings and many things, right?
Whether you like it or
Whether
not.
like it or not. So, if tax is an instrument which can drive behavior,
Okay.
and we think we need to have adequate protection in the country to ensure that the households are not weathered with untimely challenges or issues, do something more in that category.
Okay.
But we have been having tough time with the other categories also. So if there is something different done on the tax side to incentivize people, I think it will work a lot.
Okay. Now let's talk about Generali Central. You have recently transitioned from future Generali life insurance and you're positioning yourself as a refreshed lifetime partner.
Yes.
So how will you measure the metric of success at a time when we're looking at low insurance penetration in the country? What's the game plan?
See, there are a lot of tenets for lifetime partner, right?
Okay.
So if you look at our ecosystem and our stakeholders, we have distributors, we have customers, and we have employees, right? Beyond the shareholder, which is obvious. Now the point is, can we be lifetime partner for each of these stakeholders, right? For my customers, what does a life partner for a customer stands for? If I have a customer, do we understand the need of the customer? And then there are multiple needs. Like you started saying, people start with low cover. So are you going back to the customer over a period of time and saying, hey, listen, you bought a policy with us, thank you. But we see that you are not adequately insured, right? There is a life value which evolves. Your earning capability changes. Your need of a family changes. The family composition changes, right? So in your life cycle, your need for insurance also keeps on evolving. So can we, at various stages of the life cycle, be in touch with the customer, keep him or her engaged,
Okay.
and keep on offering him solutions? Say, okay, now that you are here, suppose you become a father soon or a mother. Do you want to plan something for a kid for future? You are entering at an age where you start thinking about retirement. Can we proactively go and say, have you thought about the retirement solution?
Yes.
Right? So that's partnership. So if we change from one transaction of selling one policy
Yes.
to looking at customer lifetime value, so we actually internally measure a matrix called what is my customer lifetime value with me, right? And are we able to engage more? And some of our teams are tasked on that for each customer, are we engaging and increasing the lifetime value with the customer? So that's one of the tenets for lifetime partner, right? Similarly for distributor. Again, is he coming to sell one policy and make commission? Or is going to be with us for long? A distributor which stays with us long also ensures quality of business and continuity of business,
Okay.
right? So lifetime partner is not one phrase, but we'll look at each tenant. Same for employee. My employees are my biggest assets.
Correct.
See, in our business, I keep on saying we are in the business of managing people only. I have actually no other job. Unlike other industries,
Yeah.
I am not looking at raw material management. I don't have
Correct.
to do anything on supply chain. Yes, there is some technology, but I am not building some NASA technology here. What is my role or our
Correct.
role?
Yeah.
We have almost 4,000 employees, 18, 20,000 agents, partners, distributors. So the entire piece is about people management,
Correct.
right? How can we engage, motivate, get the best out of them, fulfill their ambition? Are we with them in their own career management, right? So the first philosophy, are we giving a job or are we giving a career? It starts there,
Correct.
right? And that's where also the young generation have to be educated, again, mentored
Yeah.
and coached.
Yes.
Now, these things are not, it's better nowadays. They are much more intelligent, they are much more informative than we were at our time. But still, I think the basics of finding a job versus looking for a career is not well articulated in any curriculum.
Correct.
So that's where partnership starts, right? We run some programs, like we have a program called WIN, which is called Women in Insurance.
Okay.
What are we doing there? We are hiring fresh MBA graduates, female graduates, and we do a complete training with them of campus to corporate.
Okay.
because they're so fresh, but a lot of energy, a lot of passion, right?
Yeah,
But we need to train them on the
of
basis of
course.
corporates
And at that stage of life.
at their level. So I think in that sense, that's partnership, right?
Okay.
How do you talk? How do you appear?
Yes.
What is vocab?
Right.
So it's a long curriculum which runs 6 months parallelly,
Lovely.
right? To corporatize them, right? Because they have come, and these are mostly what we are also targeting tier two. And what we have done with them, we are also understand that these are their gig,
Yeah.
right? So they have been given their personal Instagram handlers
Oh.
so that they create reels out of it
Okay.
and look at how do we pursue the younger generation or the generation which is on Insta and persuade them to buy insurance,
Got it. Okay.
right? So again, I believe that's partnership. Someone who is
Yeah.
new, fresh. So normal concept of management training has been there for long,
Correct.
but this is very fresh, right? And also women. So I believe the woman power is also underutilized in the country. So woman, digital, young, we're trying to test a lot of tenets.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know what works over a longer period of time, but that's our sincere commitment
Okay.
that what we can do the people who wants to join the category
Yes.
and groom them to be
Okay.
successful.
Okay, so a lot of endeavors, and like you said, it's a lot of people management, which you, of course, excel at. And given where we are at right now, the current market indicators, what are the top 3 factors that Generali Central must act on right now so that you actually convert this consumer intent into long term, meaningful protection for Indian households?
While it is said a lot but not done as much is hyper personalization,
Okay.
right?
I think that's in every category, but
Every category,
100%.
and you will hear this cliche being said a lot also to
Yeah.
be candid, but I still believe in insurance it's not done as much, right? What is my customer category? Who is my customer? Where is my customer? Right? A Indian in tier 2 is different from an Indian in metro.
Okay.
Same
Yes.
age, maybe same occupation also, huh? So a professional here, a professional there.
Yeah.
So you won't find professional differences also, age difference also, but definitely he or she is different. The way they live, the sometimes the value system, sometimes the
course.
surroundings, right? So that hyper personalization is definitely important if you really want to capture markets and go deeper in the segment. So that's one. Now, the second part is linked to the first part is how do you do that? You have to use AI a lot. I'm a big believer of AI, right? If you don't embark on that journey today, you are already late.
Yeah.
You're already late, believe me.
Yeah.
There's so much happening. Obviously, one has to be smart and sharp to see what AI brings it for us.
Yes.
So there's a lot of hogwash also around it,
True.
and you can get easily lost and confused. Easily, I'm telling you, because it's so new. A lot of us don't know.
Correct.
I say we are just beginning there, but I think the bus is missing if you're not on it.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's definitely very important. Third thing is, I'll go back to the point you say simplification.
Yeah.
So if you really want to reach each and every part of the country, we want 1.4 billion people to be insured. Can you simplify to them? So personalize, simplify, and I believe technology is the means to the end
Okay. Yes.
to reach them, because reaching every part of the country is also not easy. But
Correct.
today technology is available
Yes.
and people are on smartphones.
It's our 11th finger.
Correct?
Yes.
Now, and we use the most. So my point is, if they are on a platform,
Yeah.
why don't we use it to reach them?
Okay.
So I think these three will be my top of mind.
Okay. Now, Mr. Rungta, before we let you go, we have a rapid fire round. You're not getting a hamper at the end of it, but there's
Okay,
still
oh
a
my
rapid
God.
fire.
No problem.
Okay. So, what is the one number you think that Indians need to know before buying life insurance?
Let me look at differently,
Okay.
right? Instead of a number, let me put a word. The word is here now.
Okay.
Can you buy or look at it now?
That is
Right?
important.
Because at least start. I know we discussed that, 6 multiple and 10 multiple
Yeah.
or 20 multiple.
Start
But
somewhere.
start something, because financial planning, risk management is not to
Yeah.
be done tomorrow. It
Okay.
is for tomorrow.
Okay.
Right? So I'll say here now is the word.
Okay. What comes to your mind when people say, what's the biggest myth about life insurance that you think needs to be busted? One word.
I think as the myth is people think it is not important for me,
Okay.
right? I'm immune. Nothing is going to happen to me. As I said, Indians by nature are very positive, correct?
Little too
Which is good.
positive. Yeah.
But we sometimes believe I don't need it. Even look at the health.
Yeah.
We all went through a tough time in
Yeah.
COVID, right?
Yeah.
But we still believe I'm okay.
Yeah.
मेरा तो हो जाएगा.
Yeah.
Right? It is for him, her.
Yeah.
So I think that is also an attitude which has to change.
One behavioral shift you think that is needed that will shrink India's protection gap?
Please see it as something which can secure your future.
Okay.
And not only your future, your family future.
Okay.
So it's more a security net
Yes.
rather than an investment tool.
Okay.
See, most of the tax planning part and all we discussed was more from investment tool management, right?
Yeah.
My request is look at it as a security net rather than investment tool.
Digital or human, what is going to drive the next big leap in protection?
So we use a very profound combination called physical,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
You will need to have physical as well as digital combination, right? Because for driving digital also you need human
Yes.
intelligence, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I think the word I will use is physical.
Digital. Okay. And for a 30-year-old who's listening to you today, what is the one thing you think they need to do to secure their future?
Please sit with someone who can explain you financial planning for your future.
Or watch this episode.
Or watch this episode. Definitely.
Okay, lovely chatting with you. I think this is a very powerful conversation, Mr. Rungta, actually showing us that financial security is not just built in the time of crisis, but it is built much before that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that brings us to the end of this very powerful conversation. And I think today we've heard the numbers, but we've also heard the solutions. Simpler products, clearer guidance, faster claims, and long term thinking, and the shift from buying a policy to actually protecting your income and protecting the people that you love. Mr. Rungta clearly broke this down with such clarity. And let's also thank Generali Central Life Insurance Company for all the work that they are doing to reimagine what a lifetime partner looks like for India. To everyone listening, your money stories matter, your protection matters, and your family's future deserves more than just minimum thinking. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and as always, why not mint money? This is Avanne Dubash signing off.